Welcome to the Lost Interviews with Ray Shasho.
Hello, Don.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray Shasho with Examiner and CBS. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Yeah, okay. For an old man, you know.
Oh, don't say that. Hey, you know who just celebrated their 80th birthday here in Sarasota? John Mayall.
John, man, really?
Yeah, 80th birthday, and the guy was moving his own equipment.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Yeah, he's still touring just like you guys, so, you know, it's all...
Yeah, well, you know, I had my 80th birthday last year.
That's right.
At the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame here in Seattle. Not that, but...
The Hard Rock, right?
Hard Rock, yeah.
Yep.
I'm all right. You can tell I'm 81.
Well, congratulations on that. And for such an illustrious career, man, with the Ventures, that's amazing. It really is.
Yeah, it is. I'm still working. You know, I have never missed a gig in Japan since 1962. Never have.
Wow.
The other guys, all of them have, but I have not.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And you guys got some dates coming up in Japan again, right?
Yeah, we start on well, I leave here on the 14th of July.
Right.
And I don't come back till September 15th.
Wow.
Now we're doing 40 or 42 shows in 60 days.
Jeez.
And never the same place twice.
Huh.
A lot of traveling, you know what I mean?
I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, well, you know, I'll tell you something. When I was, I always said I dare a 20-year-old to do what I do.
Well, that's true. You know, it takes a knack. It's like the the baseball players, all the cities that those guys go to, and then they play baseball. You know, I always compare musicians kind of with baseball. You know, in that regard, because that's incredible, man. And Japan still, you know, holds you guys in high regard, just like the past, right? Pretty much.
Oh, no doubt about it, yeah. So anyway, and it says, you know, like it sounds like you got like 20 days off. About 17 of them are travel days.
Okay.
So you really don't have a day off. You might have a night off if it's a travel day in some place that you don't want to be.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it sounds like you got good management and people to help you. I'm assuming sometimes the group does their own stuff, but I guess you guys got good help there to help you out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We don't do anything. I mean, you know, they have a crew.
Right.
And how do you open the trunk? Yeah, hang on just a minute.
Okay.
Huh? Yeah, well, it should be that, but it doesn't open. Well, just hold it for 3 seconds. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. I want to get some of my information for you, so.
Oh, I thought
in my car trunk.
I thought you were buying a new car.
I did. I just bought a Lexus.
Oh, did you? All right.
Yeah, I had the same car for the last 10 years.
Right.
The Cadillac.
Yeah, that's a good car.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful car.
Yep.
But I tried the new ones, and they ride like a truck.
Do they really?
So I don't want that. I like a nice ride, you know.
Yeah, I used to have the Lincoln Town car. That was a nice car. That was a nice.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was a nice ride.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and if you need a stop or anything, just let me know. You guys influence so many legendary musicians. Who are the musicians that influence you guys?
Well, my idol, my idol, but Joy and Eddie, when we first started, was very popular.
Right.
You know, instrumental. And his stuff was easy to
Right.
And he had about 4 or 5 hits there in the late 50s. And so we came along.
Yeah. And that was it.
And I think his sales pretty much dropped. But anyway, I know him, you know, he's a real nice guy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, our lead guitar player, Noki Edwards, at the time, he was into Chet Atkins.
Yep.
And Les Paul. As a matter of fact, when he was trying to learn Les Paul stuff, you know,
yep.
he didn't understand that it was speeded up. So that's the way he learned it, was, you know, just playing it like that or trying to.
Yeah. You guys also, I guess...
He's a hell of a guitar player, I'll tell you that.
Who, Noki?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He really is. Oh, so are you.
Yeah, well, you know, and Bob Bogle, you know, my partner when we started the Ventures, he's
right.
A hell of a bass player, killer. If you listen to some of the things that we've done, you know, you have him, I'm listening to him play the bass, oh my God. And he has a unique style of lead guitar. Nobody plays like him.
Yeah.
It's a sound, you know. Well, when we got started, what happened was there was just 2 of us.
Right.
And we're from Tacoma, Washington. You know how many musicians are around there that aren't working already. You know what I mean?
Right.
And mostly country stuff. So what happened was we didn't, when we went in to record Walk Don't Run, which was our first hit in 1960, my partner and I bought 2 guitars in a pawn shop in late 58, and by 1960, from learning how to play, we had the #2 hit in the nation, which was Walk Don't Run.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is amazing. It should have been #1, but I will tell you, this was our competition. Timing was not good. Our competition was the Twist Chubby Checker, Only the Lonely, Roy Orbison,
Yep.
It's Now or Never, Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
My God, Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny, you know.
That's a biggie.
Yeah. All those songs in the top 5 along with Walk Don't Run.
That's amazing.
And we stayed at #2 while they were switching back and forth to #1.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. And you guys had a little help from a DJ too, right? Some of the DJs helped promote you guys in the beginning, or?
You know, we had a hell of a time getting Walk Don't Run played.
Yeah.
Awful time.
Really?
Because what happened was, you know, my mom was very interested in working with us, and my dad was just the opposite. You know, he said, never forget it. I told him, I said, you know, we want to go in and do this song called Walk Don't Run, and actually Bob had you know where we found that?
Where?
It's Chet Atkins.
Oh, Chet Atkins cover, right? That's right.
Yeah. Chet Atkins covered the writer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard.
A jazz guitarist.
Yeah, I heard Chet's. You know, I mean, the 2 versions are very different. You know.
Yeah. Oh God.
Very different.
Yeah. Anyway, he played in the finger style, you know, and almost jazzy. And of course, hell, we had just learned how to play. We bought chord books, and you know, we were working construction, and we just tried to cram everything possible that we could into learning, because you know, our dream was to just, you know, be able to support ourselves.
Right.
Playing guitar and not, you know, quit our hard labor job.
Exactly.
The construction end of it. So, you know, we just really went after it. And then we went to my dad. You know, my mom And she went out and did that and did all the legwork for us and stuff because we worked out of town a lot. So she's really heavy duty, you know, not totally responsible for our success, but sure was a lot of it, you know, because we couldn't do those things. So
she was a bit like your manager, I guess, huh? She was a lot like your manager in a way, huh? Back then, your mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's true. She was. But anyway, you know, she took it around radio stations. We did, and they said, "Nah, it's not a hit." And there was a record label here called Jerry Denon in Seattle, and he said, "No, it's not a hit. I don't want it." Then we were going, "Oh my God!" So you know, it's hard for the artist to judge what he's done,
right?
You know, and we're starting to think maybe they're right. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, it's amazing how many great guitar players started out by playing the ventures, and you know, and
I'll give you a list right now.
Yeah,
a bit of a list. How about Jeff Beck?
It's amazing, isn't it?
Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, Aerosmith, Joe Perry.
Yep.
And many country artists.
Yep.
You know, and a couple of things that, you know, things that I didn't know. Of course, I don't know who did or who didn't, but when I'm waiting to get my presentation at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Billy Joel is back in the backstage, and he said to me, he said, you know, one of the very first songs I learned on the piano was Walk, Don't Run.
Yeah. How about that?
And then my daughter called me about, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. And she said, Dad, somebody told me that you had something for sale in Starbucks. You know, they were selling CDs. And I said, well, if we had a CD in there, I would know it. So I said, I got to go find out what that might be. So I go down to Starbucks, and it was just before Christmas, and I see Elton John's favorite Christmas songs. None of his, but other artists, and he had one of our songs in there from our Christmas album. And then he had a little statement inside the insert, you know, he had a little paragraph of everybody that he had chosen to put in there.
Right.
And when it came to the Ventures, he said, I grew up with the Ventures. Walk, Don't Run, and Perfidia. And then he said other things, and the very last thing he said was, the Ventures are cool. Now that's Sir Elton John, you know. I would never know that, never, or Billy Joel.
Yep.
And there's a lot of drummers that we have influenced too, you know.
Yep.
You know, John Bonham
from Zeppelin.
The late times, Mick Fleetwood, you know, many.
It's amazing. You guys, your style, you know, it in a way was simple, but it was like pure, clear. You know, I thought, you know, I don't know if you guys consider yourself more a surf band or a rock and roll band, but I consider you guys more of a rock and roll band. You know that?
Oh, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And it's not just that, but I mean, we have 260 or 70 different albums out.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Now, who has a gold 8-track? I want to know.
I don't think anybody.
So anyway, that's and then of course we got real popular in Japan.
Yep.
We went over there. The agency was GAC, General Artists Corporation, that was booking us. And I mean, here we're out there. We're doing a 4-hour gig for dancing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And getting like $250, you know, and that's after Walk, Don't Run was a hit. So anyway, they asked if we could go if we wanted to go to Japan, and I said, yeah, that would be great. And so, but that's the good news and the bad news. They can't afford all 4 of you, just you and Bob. You know, there's the 2 of us.
Yep.
That was 1962.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have an electric bass in the country.
Really? Huh.
You know, and mostly, like mariachi kind of stuff.
Yep.
You know, acoustic guitars, and that was popular there.
Yeah.
One of the most popular groups was called Trios Los Panchos.
Really? You're kidding me.
No. And so when we started with the guitar, the kids just you went crazy for it.
Yeah.
But not at first.
Mm-hmm.
In '62, the first time we went there, then we went back in 1964.
Yep.
And they had been playing our records, before whatever we had at that time.
Yeah.
Probably about 4 or 5 albums. And they were playing them everywhere. Radio, TV, loudspeakers, coffee houses. Oh my God.
Well,
So we went back to '64.
Yep.
And we're there not knowing how popular we were or anything. And there were like 3,000 people at the airport building. You know what I mean?
Huh, just like the Beatles.
Yeah, oh my God! And we don't know, So who's on this airplane? The president or something?
That's pretty
so
cool.
the closer we got to the terminal, all kinds of signs saying "Welcome the Ventures."
Yeah.
And if we'd have known that, we'd ask for more money.
Yeah, you're right. Don, the most recognizable album that I remember, and most people do remember, was Golden Grapes by the Ventures with the girl on it.
Oh, yeah.
She was the hottest chick I've ever seen on a record album before.
Well, for one thing, she was centerfold of Playboy magazine.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know what? You know how many young kids stared at that album?
Yeah. Well, for some reason they got into this is a record company. It wasn't our idea to put a sexy woman on the front.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess we sold to more obviously guys that wanted to learn how to play the guitar.
Yep.
Than we did girls. So I guess that was it. Happened to turn out to be a good idea.
It was that one, and Herb Alpert had one with the girl with like whipped cream on her.
Whipped cream.
You remember that?
Yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah.
That was a good one too. Those two, that's the decade right there. Those two covers, those were the best covers of all time.
Yeah. And the very first one that we had, the Walk Don't Run, had that girl on there too.
That's right.
Wearing capris, what they used to call capris.
I remember. Mary Tyler Moore wore those.
Yeah. And it was shot from below. And she looked real tall, but she wasn't.
Huh.
She was only about 5 foot.
Really? She was a short gal, huh?
2 or something like that.
Huh.
But very, a sexy girl.
Yeah.
Looking.
Did you date her?
Oh, no. I never met her, to tell you the truth.
You never met her, huh?
No, because, all the guys that are falling all over, and the guitars are, they're holding up and all that,
right.
They're almost on the ground.
Yep.
Those are all stockroom boys.
Okay.
Because we were on the road.
Yeah.
We couldn't do that, so I never met her. But, let's say sometime in early 90s or mid 80s, or, no, I think probably in pretty much the early 90s. We're playing at a beach resort here not here, but in California, Southern California. And this guy comes in and he says, "Do you know her?" And I'm looking at her, I said, "No." And he said, "She's the one that's on your first cover.
Wow.
She has a boutique right down the street."
Really?
I was thinking, really? And she was like, because she always looked tall on the album cover.
Yeah.
But she's only about 5'2".
Wow. How about that?
Surprised. That's the first time I met her.
Yeah.
And then, we did another album that had the same kind of look, but that was really us then falling down,
Yeah.
but they wanted to repeat that with the artist. walk to walk, don't run.
Okay.
And so we got turned down everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, and there was a record company in Seattle called Dalton Records.
Okay.
And they had some success, with the Fleetwoods. You know who they are?
I sure do.
Yeah, they had Come Softly to Me and Mr. Blue, and he had a lot of success with them. And we finally did get a disc jockey, that came to the station that we knew before from a smaller station.
Uh-huh.
And he went to the top 40 station and became the most famous disc jockey ever in Seattle, as it turned out.
Huh.
Anyway, we got this guy to play it, and I said, can you play that for us? Because we had met him before. And he said, well, I can't make any decisions. I just got here to this station.
Right.
He said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will talk to the program manager and see if he'll put it on.
Sure.
So he called me and he says, I got you on the station, but what it is called a news kicker. And we're going to play your song, and we have done this with other people. And they play about 30 seconds of it, or, about that, before the news, 5 minutes before the news.
Right.
And he said, he said that was okay, I could do that. And so the way they know whether people like it is, they get reaction from it. They call in and say, what was that? I really like that, but they don't tell you who it is or what the name of it is.
Right.
So you got to call and find out if you want to know. So anyway, the switchboard lit up, for God's sakes, and everybody was saying, oh my God. And this guy from Dalton Records happened to be listening, and he got a hold of us, and his name was Bob Reisdorf, and he's the one that had the Fleetwoods and all that, and Dalton Records. And he said, I'd like to talk to you about a contract. He said, I really like this song. Now there's a guy, everybody turns it down but him, Right. You find an angel every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, he called us and said that he'd want to talk to us about possibly signing to his label. And so we're going, yeah, you bet. So anyway, then we meet with him, and he said, I'm going to send this down to my distributor in Los Angeles, and that happened to be Liberty Records.
Right.
And so he sent it down there, and the president of Liberty Records says, nah, I don't want it. It doesn't sound like a hit to me. I don't want it. And Bob Reisdorf, who had Dalton Records here, he said, well, let me tell you something. I think it's a natural hit. And he said, you put it out. If it loses money, I'll pay it.
Huh.
And it went on to be, like I said, number 2 in the nation.
Yeah.
So
that's what the music industry needs today. People that are willing to take a chance, on new music like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how that happened. But, and then we went to Japan and became monsters.
Right.
We were the instrumental Beatles. You couldn't go out of your hotel room.
Yeah. That's an incredible story.
And when we, got off the plane and went into the terminal and then trying to get out, they were unbelievable. They were trying to tear your clothes up. We had no idea.
You can hear, a lot of the early Beatle guitar work sounds a lot like the Ventures,
Well, yeah, because what's his name? The guitar player, that was awful.
The Beatles? George Harrison?
Yeah, George Harrison. He wrote an article that said that he really liked the Ventures, and you can hear that in the Beatles' early stuff.
Oh yeah, like Day Tripper. That's definitely the Ventures.
Oh yeah, for sure. And he said, we have the Shadows here in England,
Yep.
but I've always opted for the Ventures.
How about
So
that?
there's another one, yeah. George Harrison, yeah.
That's it. Did you?
And many more. There's a list that won't quit. And how many amateurs of today, or of that era, that I would never know about, that learned to play from us that just didn't make it. But it's a never-ending thing. But one thing I want to read to you. I have, we have some, not just the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but in Japan, even more. The award we received was the Order of the Rising Sun Gold Rays with Rosette in recognition for the Venture's contribution to the development and enrichment of music culture in Japan, as well as to the promotion of cordial relations between Japan and the United States. And that's from the Emperor of Japan.
Wow, that's the highest honor you can get.
We have one from the government.
Huh.
And it says in 2004, the Ventures received the Japanese Foreign Ministers Award on the occasion of the 150th anniversary of the Treaty of Amity between Japan and the United States. And that's from the government. And, the one to get that before, and there was never a group like ours that got any recognition, especially, from the Emperor and the government.
Yep.
When it says 150 years of amity, they obviously picked influential musicians, but they were all like, concert orchestras and things like that.
Right.
And so we're the very first ones ever to receive that honor, being a rock group.
Yep, that's an incredible honor. And not only that, you guys are pretty clean cut. Like Paul McCartney got in trouble in Japan.
I know he did, yeah. Yeah, that was terrible. How stupid is that?
Yeah, he was in jail.
What we used to call at that time, my God, marijuana.
Yeah, poor guy went to jail for 30 days there, and it was not a good experience.
The law is this. Even if you are suspected of something,
right?
That's the difference between the law here in the United States and in Japan. If you are a suspect, they have a right to hold you.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and then if they let you go and they can't prove anything, okay, you can go now.
You definitely don't want to do anything in Japan. That's something.
Then it says here, in the early 70s, the Ventures were given the Grand Prix Award for composing songs for the Japanese market. The first foreign artist to be so honored.
Wow.
We've written 5 songs, or many songs for Japan, aiming at after hearing their kind of music and all that, we really caught on to it. And a lot of their songs are played in a minor key.
Right.
And so a lot of our songs are played in a minor key, too. So anyway, we started writing melodies, and then they would have a Japanese, they'd put into the Japanese lyric and have a Japanese singer, and our 5 times this happened, and between 68 and 72 or something like that, we had 5 hits by, both went to number 1, our instrumental and their vocal.
Wow.
Went to number 1 5 times. And that helped helped us in Japan also for popularity.
Sure, I would be going back too.
And they still play them. And that's 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Hello.
That's great. That's wonderful.
So they became standards,
Yeah.
And
I want to talk to you a little bit about Hawaii 5-0 because
yeah, sure.
I mean
Okay.
that's the song that that's got to be a moneymaker for you guys, no?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
And was that your version, your song in the theme?
No, that's the writer.
Okay.
But he only had, let me tell you the whole story.
Okay.
Our drummer was Mel Taylor at
Right.
the time. He passed away, but and my partner Bob, he passed away too. So there's only me and Noki, and Noki doesn't play much anymore, but I do.
Yep.
I'm still working, and because I want to,
Right.
not because I have to. It's because I want to.
Well, it keeps you
I
young.
don't fish. I don't golf. What am I going to do? Lay in bed, watch TV, and eat?
Yeah.
No. So anyway, yeah, we go to Japan twice a year. Once in the winter in January, and then, like I said, we start leave here on doing about 42 shows, 60 days over there in the summertime. But yeah, Hawaii 5-0. Our drummer had gotten closer than we did to one of our engineers, and they used to go out to dinner together and all that stuff. Of course, he was our engineer, so we all knew him very well. But anyway, he told Mel Taylor, who was our drummer,
Right.
he said, the writer only has a 30-second version of that just for the TV show. Mm-hmm. And he said, I suggest that you guys record it, because he says he's not going to. I asked him.
Right.
And he did the music for him, too.
Was that Morton Stevens?
Yeah, Mark
Okay.
Stevens.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so we did record it. I'm telling you, the Ventures are snake bit. We're the Rodney Dangerfields of the rock world. We don't get no respect.
I like that. That's a good
So
one.
anyway, he said, why don't you guys go and do a 2-minute version of it, and put it out. So we thought, yeah, okay, let's do that. So we did. Mm-hmm. And the TV show wasn't really making it, It was like, at that time, about 13 weeks, and if you didn't make it, you're over. It's through.
Right.
Now, shorter than that. If you don't do it in a couple of weeks, you're out. But
Yep.
anyway, so it was, scripts got better, and I don't know, it just caught on. We released Hawaii 5-0, and it wasn't a hit for 7 months after it was released.
Huh.
And, we're trying to get people to play it. We hired somebody to, push the record and, that's in that business. And he said he got turned down everywhere,
Right.
So, everywhere he tried to play it. So he finally got a breakout. And so he calls a lot of big stations and says, I got a breakout on Hawaii 5-0. Somebody's playing the hell out of it. So these people are saying, oh, you did? Great. Where? He said, Hawaii.
Really? In Hawaii?
Yeah, that wasn't very impressive for them. So actually, the very first time that somebody played it and it went up the charts and went to #1 was in Sacramento, California, believe it or not.
Huh.
And that started the whole thing off. And
Right.
we were top 10 with that. I think #4 or something like that in the nation.
The song in the show, was that the Ventures or somebody else?
Oh no, that was the writer.
Okay.
That's Mark Stevens.
So did he have like an orchestra or something?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
And he wrote the song.
Why didn't they use you guys on in the show?
Well, because we didn't record it till after he had already
Okay.
played it on the show.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when that became a huge hit. I was a DJ too. I was a top 40 guy back in the 70s, late 70s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah. So, I know what the DJs did when they first used Walk Don't Run as it's any time you have an instrumental going into the news, you use it as like a back timer because it's easy to fade out. You know what I mean? That's
right. Yeah. And it's played twice over.
Yep.
I mean, there's a drum break in between, then you start all over.
Yeah.
And that's how appealing that was. Nobody got tired of it or didn't realize, consciously that's what we did. But it just was only a minute to play through it. So we thought, geez, we got to have 2 minutes. What are we going to do? So we had a drum break in between that, probably caught a lot of drummers' ears also.
Did you get to meet the Beatles or Elvis back then?
No, never did.
Never did, huh? I would have thought that I could see Elvis doing some little rock and roll with you guys. That would have been cool.
Oh, that would have been cool. But that's, like I said, we're the Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
So we, I've seen Elvis and I've never seen the Beatles, but.
Yep.
Ringo Starr was sitting right behind me in a theater at one time.
Right.
That's about as close as I got to him. But, if I would have went up to either one of them and said, I'm Don Wilson of the Ventures, they would say, oh, really? They would have.
Oh, definitely.
But, I'm not that I'm reserved, but I just don't like to.
Right.
Somebody might say, who are you? I don't need that.
Was there ever a time where you guys ever thought about using a vocalist?
I did, in Japan, we took a couple of vocalists with us.
Really?
1 year, in 1976, which was the 200th anniversary of the U.S., And we took 2 girl singers with us.
Really?
Rehearsed about 2 months before we ever went over there. And that's not what they want to see, though. They want to see the Ventures.
Yeah.
And I said, we would like, we have a keyboard on a lot of our stuff, and the people that we were working for over there said, no, you guys are a 4-piece, you're the Ventures. 2 guitars, a bass, and a drum.
Yeah.
I said, really? Yeah, okay. Because they would have had to pay them, and I'm sure they didn't want to do that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Don, do you have a nice collection of vintage guitars? I'm just curious.
I just sold my guitar. I got $75,000 out of it.
Wow.
It's not, like some of these people that, like Eric Clapton, I think he sold a guitar for $400,000 or something like that.
Yeah. What year was it?
67 Jazzmaster. And I had played that all the time until we, after we had our deal with Mose Wright. You know that?
Yes.
Mose Wright Guitars.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that guy, he was the worst businessman in the world.
Huh.
He started a record company and lost all his money.
Really?
And then we had guitars out, that were accounts receivable. You think somebody's going to send something in once they know you're out of business? No. We lost about $200,000.
Wow.
My partner and I.
Oh,
that was in the 60s. How much is that now?
Yeah.
Triple. What I mean?
Triple. Yeah.
Yep. And then he had the gall to call me and say, "Can I tell you your name?" No, I don't think so. but he did anyway.
He did anyway, huh? Huh. Unbelievable.
And other people, that he got a hold of, like people in Japan who were a little unscrupulous, let's say, used our name and just put it on a guitar. Or if they didn't put it on the guitar, they put a sticker inside that you can stick on the headstock just as an Ventures model.
Right.
I got to tell you, we've been through it.
I could imagine. I mean, the music industry is, Yeah, I can imagine. You have your own reverb or something, don't you? Some kind of device that you
No,
own?
I used a regular Fender
Okay.
reverb, yeah.
But don't you own your own patent or something on one of the reverbs? Or
No.
No. Okay. I thought you had your own.
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I did have an amp that I love the reverb on, and then I can't remember what it was now, but anyway, I used that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Don, here.
That reverb was just kind of like the Fender reverb, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a Fender Telecaster that I sold recently too. It was a 73.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I actually got about $4,000 for it, which was, I mean, those things are better than the stock market, guitars.
No doubt about that. Yeah. Although the stock market is doing very well right now, it's at an all-time high.
True.
But let's see, what was I going to say?
I got
about reverbs and things like that.
Yeah,
guitars, Fender Company had a limited edition of Ventures model guitars in 1996.
Right.
And it was Jazzmaster, Jazz Bass, and a Strat.
Right.
And I got to them in a hurry, and I said, I would like to have the very first guitars that you have with the lowest serial number. I have a set of those guitars, and the serial number is 0001.
You're kidding me.
All three of them.
Oh.
And 0002.
Wow.
I have all those. And then my partner had the others. And then I got back into it in 2000, 0005. I still have all those guitars.
Really?
Yeah. And then Noki had a special one, the Telly. And I have some of his too that are 0005 or 6 or something. So,
wow, that's great. Yeah, I love the Telly. I love the sound of the Telly.
That's a remarkable sound.
It is
no doubt about that.
Yeah.
He loved it, and he's an excellent guitar player.
How's he doing?
If you listen to some of the early stuff that we did in the, from 60 to 70 or whatever, and you listen to him and what he does with the guitar, I can understand how we influence so many people, so many guitar players and guitar players that were famous. By learning from us. They said, we play your records over and over again and play it note for note.
Well, you never get tired of listening to the Ventures, No,
and I'll tell you, we've gone from doing other people's songs. How many instrumentals are there? That aren't movie themes or TV themes or something.
That's right.
There's a Wipeout, Pipeline, Walk Don't Run, Memphis. How many more? Not very many. You can damn near count them on your fingers.
True.
So instrumentals are hard to come by with hits, so we started, getting other people's instrumentals and putting them on an album. And in many instances, our album is sold more than their single.
It's amazing.
So we're identified with you doing that too,
That's amazing.
And people say, "Oh, you had that hit." Well, not originally, but we did make a big hit out of it.
Yeah, so. But you know what? Everybody identifies with your cover songs more than the original artist because
they do.
It's amazing,
Yeah. Now, Wipeout was the Safaris,
right.
that. And when we did it, we did it a little bit different than that. And, I think we outsold their single by about 2 to 1.
Well, even Pipeline, your version is much better, I think.
Pipeline, anytime I see this guy's name is Bob Spicard, and he was this was called. And every time I see him, he gives me that praise, you know, he gets on his knees and because they came and went, you know.
Yeah.
They're all one record artists, that's it.
Yeah.
And here we are with over 270 different albums.
Well, you made you made a lot of.
We did a from surf, as you know,
right,
and rock to classical. We have a classical album now with 35 pieces behind us. And it's called Joy.
You did a Beatles album too, didn't you?
We did.
Yeah.
We did the Beatles not very long ago. It was Japan that wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So we go ahead. Okay. We'll go ahead and do it. People love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta buy that one. I don't have that one yet.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Why don't you get a hold of Fiona, who you talked to before, right?
Yeah. I'll do that. I'll get a copy of that.
Yeah, and have her send one.
Maybe I'll review it in this interview too.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
Great. Okay, that'd be terrific.
Don, here's your final.
And we did, the Ventures play the Carpenters. And, different things. So
here's your final question.
Yes.
This is a question I ask everybody, and I get a very unique answer from everyone. If you had a Field of Dreams wish, like the movie Field of Dreams, to play or collaborate with anyone from the past or present, who would that be?
Wow. You mean a musician?
Yeah, anyone from, and I mean, you can go back to the classical period if you want.
Oh yeah. Gosh. I'm not sure. I suppose it would have been a thrill of my life to be able to play with Duane Eddy.
Duane Eddy, yeah. You never played with Duane Eddy, huh?
Yeah. I mean, that's how I learned the lead guitar that I play.
Really?
Is by listening over and over and over to his stuff. You know?
Yep.
So, I would have to say that he's more or less my blueprint for what I play.
Dwayne Eddy.
So, I'll tell you, people say, well, how do you get your sound? It's unique, it's different.
It is unique.
Well, I'll tell you what. When my partner and I got together, we didn't know a bass player or a drummer. We didn't know any.
Right.
And, they were playing with other bands. So it was just he and I. We'd go to these talent shows, and in order to make up for the drum kind of sound, I played a very percussive rhythm. And he played, playing the lead. I played more lead guitar than he did at that time, but anyway. He played the lead on Walk Don't Run and, a lot of the early stuff. And so he would come to a note and he'd make a chord out of it. And then he'd use the whammy bar, and to make that a real full sound, which he did. And that. Once we did get a bass player and a drummer, that stuck. Yeah. That was the way we played before, and I think that has a lot to do with the Venture's success.
It's a great story because oh man, you guys have lasted so many years,
Yeah, and can you imagine at that time in the early '60s when we were going to go in and record Walk Don't Run, some other musicians were saying, "You're going to go in there with no piano or saxophone? You can't do. You're never going to do anything with that." Yeah. And thank God we didn't know a saxophone player or, we used a drummer that we had done some stuff that, for the, actually it's that's a popularity contest. The more people you have in the place and the more applause you get, you win.
Yeah. Did you like Link Ray?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sure. Yeah. Rumble.
Yeah, he was good. He was very good also.
Yeah, very good.
Don, thank you so much, man, for being on the call today. I'm going to call, I'll talk to Fiona and get that Beatles release.
I do, because, if I give somebody, 3 or 4 albums,
right,
They always comment more on that Beatles album. They said, "God, you guys did a good job on that."
Good.
I mean, it's just like instrumental, the instrumentalists, you know, of the Beatles. So, yeah, do get it, and I think you'll really like it.
Yeah, I'll promote that as well, you know, so people can, you know, order that one too online as well.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And now my son and I have started a record label.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I just produced a group from Seattle.
Uh-huh.
And now we're waiting for the artwork to be done.
Oh, great.
And I'm going to do a video on them, and I have high hopes for them. They're young boys.
Right.
One's 17, and one is 19, and the other one's 21. Two of them are brothers.
Uh-huh.
There's three of them, and their high school friend plays the bass. And I got to tell you, these guys are really good.
What's the name of the band? We'll get.
They wanted to call themselves Astor House.
Okay.
And I said, well, you know, if you put that on a T-shirt, people won't be saying, who is that? They'll say, where is it? So I said, do you mind if I make it into one word? And they said, no, it's okay. So it doesn't look like it's some place instead of a name of a group.
Yeah. Do they have any?
Anyway, these are the clean cut.
Uh-huh.
They don't smoke. They don't drink. I have never heard a cuss word out of them. I tell you, they're all good-looking boys.
Do they have any music on YouTube yet, or not yet?
Not yet, but I'm going to have it on there as soon as I get this thing finished.
Okay.
And, you know, I want to have a professionally done video on them to put on there too, because people that I have sent to go see them play around here have said, "Wow, those guys are great on stage." You know, I mean, they move around and they're very animated, and so there's no disappointment there. I'll tell you that. I mean, if you want to, you know, you hear their music and you think, well, what do they do? You know, they're very active on stage, which is very good.
Well, keep me informed with them. If you get any, you know, publicity stuff, send it to Fiona and have her send it to me so I can promote them too for you.
I certainly will, and I really appreciate that.
I'm gonna this interview and in the review of the album. This is going on Examiner and probably about 5 other sites around the world. I also publish in all places in. Oh gosh, I can't think. See, now I'm having a senior moment myself.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 55.
Yes, you're a kid. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, in Belgium. I publish in Belgium too. But
oh, you do?
Yeah, but I'm here in Florida. I'm on the west coast of Florida in Tampa Bay. And I'm also this is going to be in my second book, which is almost. I've got 100 interviews of all the greatest, you know, pioneers of rock and roll, and we'll include you in the book as well. Okay?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I appreciate that. I will also have Fiona send you. We have a book out, you know, and the guy that wrote it is a fan.
Okay.
And he's from Canada. He and my mom, who passed away, you know, a few years back, and at 91.
Wow.
And she used to call me all the time. They put that book together themselves. And it's, you know, I don't know, like, wow, a telephone book.
Yeah,
but
really.
It is very interesting, and I'll send you one of those.
Okay, that'd be wonderful. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I will talk to Fiona about that. And I'll get you whatever you want, you know.
That'd be
the book, the Beatles, and anything else you want, just let me know.
Fantastic. Don, thank you so much, man, for being on the call today. But
that was great. Good interview.
But more important, thank you for all the great venture music throughout the years. And, and have a great trip to Japan, okay?
I will, and I'll get you that stuff before I leave, for sure.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Don.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining, and please subscribe to Ray's YouTube channel.